Hello, welcome to the Two Chicks Homestead Podcast. We are the Two Chicks. Yay!
Hi, I'm Nate.
And I'm Aaron, and we talk about homesteading and living on a small piece of land.
All right, everyone. Episode 52.
Yep.
February 22nd, 2023.
Yep.
So we're going to do one on spring chicks and fall chicks.
Yes. So spring is coming eventually.
Yep.
And lots of people are talking about upgrading their flocks or getting new chickens.
Yep.
So we're going to talk about our experiences with getting spring chicks versus fall chicks.
Right. We may have covered this, I don't know, about 6 months ago, but we figured it was a good idea to jump back in.
It's relevant now.
Exactly. I know everybody is itching to get their new chickens in, and chickens are the gateway drug to homesteading. It is what it is.
Yeah, which I was talking to someone recently who noticed lots of people complaining that they can't find the chickens they want, but yet all we try and do is bring more people in to do it.
Right.
So you can't bring more people in to do it and then complain about not things being available. So
right. It's supply and demand.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
There's a lot of people going, shoot, I should probably do this.
Yeah. I mean, the best time to get chickens was yesterday.
Yeah.
There's no way around that. So now the next best time is now.
Yeah.
Or start working on your processes and maybe consider fall.
Right. The first ones we got in March.
Yes.
And so we had a brooder in our basement, our unfinished side of the basement. And it was really fun for like a week. And then they're loud. They're dusty. We still have shavings in the corners.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, it was great because our kids were little. And so they could come down here and just, look at them. And I really feel like they were able to connect with them because they were just right there. It wasn't like we had to get bundled up and go outside.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we really bonded with those chickens. I mean, they all had names. I had them all charted out, like which ones were which.
Yep.
And it was fun. Not that that was a bad idea, but
it was a good way to get into it.
Yeah. As they got older in the basement, it was stinky and a lot of work.
Yeah, it was a lot of cleaning out. You couldn't go more than a day or two.
Yeah.
Without
which
isn't
out the different, which isn't any different with a fall chick.
Right.
But they were in our house.
Yes. So we had to, stay on top of it.
Yeah.
There was a lot of cleaning once they were out. And it's just kind of the way it was. It was nice, but it was a pain in the butt.
And we were using a heat lamp.
Yes.
And it was a little nerve-wracking because then you start researching and it's like, ooh.
Yeah.
That could
burn a house down.
Catch on fire.
Yeah.
Catch on fire any time, and it's here. It's in our house, and
right. So, what I found with the red heat lamps, that if a chick splashes water up on and it hits that heat lamp, the heat lamp will explode. Those red bulbs, and that's just, there's no way around it. Then you have that hot glass falling down on the shavings, which catches the shavings on fire.
Yeah.
And that's probably 99% of why coops go up, because people are using heat lamps.
Yeah.
So that's one reason to not have spring chicks, because it's cold.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you have to have them inside.
Right.
In a building.
Right.
That's heated.
Yeah, be it a house or a garage, and then you got to have the heat lamp above them, to give them that more warmth.
Which since then we've gotten that.
The heat plate.
The plate, yeah, which kind of acts like, mother hen.
Yep.
Where they all kind of go under it, and it's not hot. I mean, it is hot, but it's not the same.
It's not going to explode. It's not going to short out. It's not going to cause any fires.
Yeah.
And those things are worth their weight in gold.
Yeah.
We've used it for now 2 batches of meat birds and a batch of the second set of layers.
Our current chickens.
Yes. Yeah, our current layers outside. So, I mean, we've got 2 brooders or 3 brooders out of that that plate, and they're $25-$50.
Yeah, I think we got it on Amazon.
Yeah. They're super cheap.
Yeah.
So I'll have to get a link in there for one we bought.
Yeah.
And it came with a top in case they jump on top of it. They can't sit on it.
Yeah.
It's a little triangle piece.
Yeah, it just seems more natural.
Right.
And you don't have to keep we had a thermometer on the bottom because you had to have it like 99 degrees one week and then 95 degrees and you had to keep like
raising it, moving it.
But this little the box thing.
Yeah, that
is
the plate. You just raise the legs on it, and it works the same way as they get bigger.
Yeah. And
eventually, within a couple of weeks, if you do fall chicks outside, you're doing it in late summer.
Well, that's the next biggest thing is when we did the second flock in August. I mean, they're fall chicks, but we got them in August. We had a different brooder, just like a fabric.
Yeah, it was a playpen.
Yeah, a little playpen, and we could have them in the garage, and we barely even needed heat because it was hot out.
Yeah, it was 80 degrees.
Yeah,
80,
I mean,
85.
we still used it because they were, when they were little, but
yeah,
I mean, we noticed much quicker that they weren't even going underneath it.
Right, because it was warmer outside and it was less to deal with. So
yeah, so it was nice to have them outside and not in the house this time.
Right, and we had them out in the garage, and if they mess the garage up, it's a garage.
Right.
It's not the end of the world.
Right.
Throw a tarp underneath them, get them in the playpen, and it was this little tiny tent. Now it's like a pet tent.
I think I got it on Amazon too.
Yeah. So we'll have to toss links in there.
Yeah, it's got a zipper top and mesh, and so you can still look at them and pet them or whatever.
And that worked for our meat birds, and for a little while for the meat birds, and then we had to move them into. We had this rolly cage that we use.
Like a dog
pen.
It's a
dog pen, 5x10 dog pen.
Yeah.
And that's what we moved those guys into. But yeah, if you're considering getting chickens, so you're gonna go buy the coop, either buy or build the coop, and then you're gonna go get the birds. Well, you have 8 weeks from when you get the birds to when they're ready to go into the coop. So they have to be in the brooder for 8 weeks.
So you have to pay attention to your weather in your area to know at what point in the year they can go outside.
Right.
And not get them too soon. And they're in the, if you get them in the spring, then they're in the house until they're ginormous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they need to be fully feathered before they go out in the coop to have their heat regulation. So if you catch that too early, say you get them in February, then they're going to be outside, say, our area in April.
Yeah.
And that's too cold because we still get cold snaps.
Yeah, you can't just take them and throw them outside and they're fine.
Right. So you would more than likely get them in March like we would do, and then you'd have April and then May. And then May, we're usually 75, 80 degrees.
Yeah.
Then they can go outside in the coop.
Yeah, our last frost is somewhere in May.
Yeah. So that works out pretty good if you do it that way. But then you're scrambling to get the coop built while it's cold out.
Right. And now you can build it all summer.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll have already been outside. So they're able to regulate better because the temperatures are slowly starting to get colder.
Right.
And it's not just throwing them out there. Like they've already kind of gotten used to it by the time it's October. I think it was October or something that we put them finally in the coop.
Exactly. So you'll have a little bit more time to get your coop built, source all your parts. So I would do that. You always want to build your enclosure before you have the animals.
Yeah.
You don't want to go get the animals and go, oh shit, I got to build something now. And we all know how it goes. Life gets busy.
Or you have 10 chickens and the one you're looking at is only for 6, and then
right, exactly
stuffed in there.
Now our coop is good for 7 to 8 usually. Ours is a 4x4 coop with a 4x8 run with a little 4-foot section underneath the coop that they can hide under.
Yeah.
So really, ground space, we have a 4x12 run with a 4x4 coop.
Yeah, and we've made the outside run now.
Right, and they have this little chicken wire fenced off area where they can go run around, and that's probably 20 by 20.
Yeah, well, they get locked in every night.
Right. As soon as they go to bed, we walk out there, lock them all in the coop, and they're good to go. We've forgot once or twice, and we've had guests.
But yeah, the other thing is, if you get them in the spring, they're going into the coop. They'll be in the coop, all summer, and then it's winter, and that's like right when they're like starting to lay.
Yep.
And then winter happens, and I don't think we lit the coop the first winter, did we?
No.
So we then slowed down all winter.
Yeah.
And they never seemed to like
pick back up.
Yeah, it was always a little slow. Where with the fall chicks, they go all winter. They're not laying. I think we got our first egg in January.
Right.
And I think we had been. Maybe we turned the lights on then. I don't even know if we did that.
No, we didn't do lights for these
first
guys.
Year.
We did it for the second year.
But then it's starting to be lighter out. It's like, so they start laying as the days are slowly getting longer.
Right, exactly.
And they laid all summer and all winter this last year.
Right.
They just slowed down for a little while, maybe in the past 2 months, and now they're already picking back up.
Yeah, and I think that was one or two of them was molting too.
Yeah, yeah.
So
it's almost like their schedule is more. It coincides with nature when you do it in the fall.
Right, because you're going to have 26 to 28 weeks that you're going to be raising these birds and not get any eggs.
Right. I think a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah. So you have to wait until they're 26 to 28 weeks, and then they'll start laying. Well, you figure that out. You get them in March. So that's what, about 6 months?
Yeah.
A little over 6 months. You get them in March. You're in September, October when they start laying.
Right. And then it starts getting cold and dark.
Exactly. So that initially shuts them down, and they quit laying for you. You only get 2 or 3 eggs.
Yeah.
If you got a flock of 6.
Right.
And then you deal with it all winter, and then they pick back up, and you may get 4 eggs every day out of your flock of 6.
Right.
Where we noticed when we did the fall chicks, they started laying in we got them in August. They started laying in January. And then it was, so we had 7, I think, 7 or 8.
We had 8 because we have 7 point? Now.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were getting 6 to 7 eggs a day.
Yeah.
So that's every single one laying going into the spring.
Yeah, we had lots of full houses. We always say it's a full house that we got an egg from every chicken.
Right. And that's what you want. You don't want to be feeding freeloaders.
Right. Yeah, and then we debated a little while about the lights. And then it was like, you know what? We're not keeping these chickens forever.
Right.
Like, we don't need to extend their life.
Yeah.
To let them rest. I know there's to let them rest over the winter. You wouldn't put lights up. But for us personally, we know that pretty much every 3 years we're going to rotate. Right.
So, this is going to be their second year? Third year.
Third year.
So
they're going into their third
right.
season.
So this fall, we will get chickens again. We will probably go get a batch of whatever.
Yeah.
And then we'll more than likely process these birds that we have. I mean, we'll see how it goes. And if we get a decent amount of meat off of these guys, I mean, they're layers.
Right.
They're not dual purpose by any means.
But they're all pretty big.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see.
So we'll do it again, and then we'll see what we get.
Yep.
And that's kind of the fun part. They're still laying pretty solid right now. So the lights that we have in our coop are a 20-foot rope light.
Yeah.
And it's hanging in the coop, and it comes out into the run, so they can get it, come out of the coop, go into the run, hang out there, and then they're still locked in the run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, until we come out and let them out.
Right. So then when you get up in the morning, So when I leave for work, it's still dark. Mm-hmm. And I can look out at the coop and I know, okay, the electric's on in the coop.
Right, yeah.
The water heater's hooked up to that circuit.
Yep.
The lights are hooked up to that. So I know everything's working in the coop. And then I go to work. And then you come out 2-3 hours later and then let them out into the main run. Mm-hmm. Like the outside run. We do have 550 paracord over that run to keep hawks out.
Yes, we have quite a few hawks that fly around.
Yeah.
That didn't bother our chickens for a long time.
Well, they didn't in the main run. Like
yeah, but even,
run.
I mean, we didn't have the paracord out there right away until it was like,
Yeah, we saw 3 or 4 hawks flying over, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, sitting on the tree branch right above it, it's like,
Yep. So we decided to go that route, and then that's worked out real good because they see the paracord and they can't fly through it.
Yeah.
They'll just get hung up and stuck, and it is what it is.
Yep. So far, it's working.
Yeah. So we're getting a good, decent amount of eggs right now. We're getting probably. So they're 2 years old. We get, about 4 a day right now?
Yeah, we just started getting 4 again. We were getting between 2 and 3, maybe 1.
Yeah.
For a couple months.
So now that we've gotten out of the molt and it's starting to get lighter out, we're going to start picking up and getting more here and there. And then, we may notice a dip at the end of the summer. And then if we notice that dip, then we'll go get the new chicks.
Yeah.
And start brooding those guys up and see how it goes.
Yeah, now the only thing we don't have is space or another building to keep the new chicks or keep the old chicks until the new chicks start laying.
Right.
Like we are going to have, when we do this, we are going to have time in between before the new ones start laying.
Right. And it's probably going to be 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
I think is what we figured it out.
But that's when you plan ahead and you preserve. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've got the freeze-dried raw eggs and then the limed eggs, which I need to try one. I have yet to try one to see. Yeah,
we had 2-3 gallons of those down here in the basement.
Yeah, so I need to pull those out and start using them because, I mean, pretty soon we're not going to need those.
Right. And then just kind of play it by ear.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the nice thing with the hens. They're not a big deal. There's not a lot of care with them.
Yeah. Once you get into the groove of it, it takes a few minutes to go out there, let them out, check their food, check their water, and they're pretty much self-sufficient.
Right. And then when fall comes, we'll take all the leaves from the trees that we have, and we'll throw it in their outside pen.
Yes.
And they go nuts over that.
Yeah, I mean, having that outside pen, it's been funny to see the difference between the personalities of the 2 flocks of chickens we've gotten. Mm-hmm. The first ones were very skittish, very, well-mannered. They just kind of, clucked around and they were fine. These ones have been, like, psychos.
Yeah.
Like they run around, you walk in there and they're like jumping at you, not like trying to hurt you, but just like, oh, a person, where the other ones would be like cowering in the corner. So it's been fun having them have that outside space because they are constantly, when we're out there working, they are running back and forth following our every move going, that's for me, right?
Yep. And they hear the back door of the house and they may be underneath the coop. And they'll come running out going, what's our snack tonight?
Yep.
And they'll hear me come home from work. And sometimes it was right at dark when it's time for them to go to bed. And sure as shit, they all come running out of the coop into the runs. So, what you bringing me?
Yeah. Nothing. I'm not the snack man.
Exactly. So, but these guys have been really good. They come out. They've been good with the kids.
Yeah.
And the kids have gone in there a couple times.
Yeah, the oldest one now is too tall. Like, she hits her head on the paracord. And the little one is afraid of everything, so she doesn't really go in there. But they have a lot more fun because they can give them stuff through the fencing and...
Right, or throw it over the top.
Yeah.
I mean, we give the chickens pretty much everything.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the nice thing, is everybody says, get a dog. The dog's gonna eat all your extra stuff. Well, these guys, they eat everything.
Yeah.
We've given them turkey carcasses, chicken carcasses, and this is cooked stuff.
Yeah.
And they'll pick that stuff clean. And I've even, if we lose kits with the rabbits, I'll give them to the chickens instead of throwing them out.
Right.
It just works. It's more food for them.
Yeah, and it's less food we have to buy.
Exactly. And,
for them, like chicken food.
Right. And they pick and they chase bugs around, and it's fun to watch them move around.
Yeah.
So, if you guys are contemplating getting them, I would say jump on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I would weigh your options.
Yeah, what works for us is not going to work for everybody else.
Right.
But we definitely see the benefits of the fall chicks.
Right. We are cold climate in the winter. I know some people down south are a little bit warmer and it doesn't get as cold. I get that. But it definitely works for us getting them in the fall.
Yeah, the only downside is that I've noticed that like Farm and Fleet, they only have chicks for like a couple weeks in the spring.
Yep.
Tractor Supply, I don't know, because we've only just recently got a Tractor Supply, so I don't know what their schedule is. Mm-hmm. I'll have to ask next time, like how long they have chicks.
Yeah.
Because our Rural King has them all year round.
Yeah.
It may not be as big of a selection, but we still got some really nice ones when we got them in August. I mean, it's not that much later.
Right. And we got some off the wall. But
yeah.
They were good producing numbers.
Yeah.
So
they were supposed to be colorful eggs, but so far we only get brown.
Yeah.
Brown and a little bit of speckled brown.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Yep. So, they all taste the same.
Yep. I do miss having the Easter eggers.
I do.
And having that blue
and the pink. Yeah, those were pretty.
But it is what it is. So we're probably gonna maybe look at dual purpose birds for the next set.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe go with
and there's those Bressy.
I've heard. Yeah.
I'm in the Telegram group. I don't know where it originally came from. If it was from Jack Spirko, I feel like that it came from TSP.
Could be.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to look at those.
Yeah, we may have to order those, and I don't know if we can just order 8.
Oh, Farm and Fleet, we can order, or not Farm and Fleet. Rural King, we can order whatever we want.
Specific breeds.
And I think they'll get them and they'll just sell the rest.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to find out.
If we get 10, we get 10. I know we're probably not going to do meat birds next year.
Yeah, probably not.
So we still have some left, and if we process our layers, we'll have 7 of those going in the freezer.
Yeah.
So we should be pretty good.
Yep. But yeah, I know. Brian from the Lots Project said that. I mean, he had
100,
50 or
50
something,
to 100.
but that he would sell his laying eggs or laying chickens at the end of the season too, which I wouldn't have even thought of. But then I think like, oh gosh, that one that I sell is like the one that's not laying or something goofy. So,
well, you could do that at a year or so. A year and a half, and then you're just replenishing your flock every year and a half. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's true.
Because then you have to deal with introducing new birds.
Yeah, and we've done that in the past, and it was
not fun.
Yeah, it was. It worked out. Kind of.
Yeah, kind of. But I think we have too small of a flock to play with that.
Yes.
Like if we had 100 birds,
then they'd probably
story.
be like, "Oh, you've been here forever."
Yeah. We're not going to pick on you, and if we introduce 10 and 10 of them to 100, they're all going to split off anyway and go their different directions.
Yeah, these ones are much more close knit than that.
Yeah. So it worked. I mean, it worked. When we tried to do it, I could see how it would work with a bigger flock.
Yeah.
So we may have to contemplate that when we get a new piece of property.
Yeah.
Have more birds.
Yeah, at some point.
So, because we don't have enough room here for anything more than 10 birds.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd have to rebuild the entire coop, which I'm not opposed to, but
no, but This is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, we have enough eggs to give away to a few people. I think I've probably sold some in the past, but I don't have a egg selling business.
No.
And it's, we have enough that we can have eggs for dinner, and it's not like, oh gosh, I need these.
Right. And they're good quality eggs. Yes, they're expensive because there's a lot that goes into them.
Yeah.
And feed ain't cheap.
Yeah, but
it is what it is.
It all balances out. I mean, what we feed them in chicken feed in the winter, in the summer, I'm not changing the food nearly as much.
Yeah. Absolutely, because we're giving them more scraps and stuff.
Right.
And they're picking at bugs that are out in their run.
Yep.
So, yeah, that works out pretty good.
Yeah. So that's our take on chickens.
Yep. So we hope you guys, if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask.
Yep.
We will do our best to help, and we can toss a couple plans out for some coops. We got some good ones.
Yeah, they're actually on our website.
Yep. It's construct101.com was what we used for our coop, and they got a couple of them on there that you can get anywhere from a 10x10 shed to a 4x4, and you build it from a pile of wood.
Yep.
So check that out and see what you want to go from there.
Yeah.
But we will catch you guys next time.
All right. See you on the homestead, where something is always growing, eating, or cooking.